What's up, y'all? My name is Scott. This is Jordan Woodworking, and this is Shop Tour 2019. Okay, we're going to start off by going in the door. I normally go in from the other side of the garage. Now, I guess you could consider this to be the front of the garage. It's where the door is. And we're going to start over to the right. This is a 3-tier tool cabinet. And most of the stuff on the top is a catch-all. And the rest of it is just mechanic type tools. And here we have a crosscut sled. This is a pretty good size crosscut sled. It was originally made to cut an 18-inch side panel, I guess is what you'd call it, on a dresser. And then over to the table saw. This is a 10-inch porta-cable table saw that Lowe's used to carry. And I guess it's a pretty decent table saw just for the homeowner. And then we're over to the clamp rack, and I don't have a lot of clamps, but it holds everything I got plus a few extra spots. Then we also got some push sticks over hanging on the right, and then over in front of it we have the nut and bolt bin, and it's somewhat of a catch-all also. That tends to happen though, I guess, sometimes. Then we got a couple clamps down there. And then down past that we have our tapering jig and also our straight edge jig that I use since I don't have a joiner. And then down by that we also have a jig for my palm router. I actually used it to cut some crosses in a church pew, but you could use it for dados and such as that. And over here we got a drum. It's actually a cardboard drum I got from work. Used to hold welding wire in it, but this is pretty much all scraps that we have in here. And I hadn't been able to figure out how to bring myself to throw them away yet, so just still got them. And this rack up here is just a regular old lumber rack. A lot of this lumber up here come from my grandparents' house. Some of it is scraps from trim boards that they had on their house, and some of that up top is old quilt frames that my grandmother used to use. Then down below here is just some scrap wood that I hadn't used up yet. Alright, then we got the new dust topper that I bought. I'll probably do a unboxing and review on that this coming week. I'm hoping that it's gonna help out with the shop vac that I got. Now, let's see. Alright, so on the back, somewhere on the back, it says right here, optimal results are achieved with vacuums having more than 4.5 horsepower. And right here we got 6.0 peak horsepower. So hopefully we'll be in good shape. I probably had this dust vac, I don't know, maybe 12 years. And I've never had a problem with it. And I've really never even bought a filter for it. When it gets full and gets stopped up, I'll beat it out, blow it out with my air compressor. And maybe it would work a little better with a new one, but it seems to work pretty good. So I hope this dust topper really makes a big improvement, so I don't have to buy a big $400 or $500 dust collection system for the shop, because normally I only use one saw at a time, so I really hate to spend that kind of money for that. Now over to the back wall. I've had a lot of stuff hanging in the past, hammers and squares and such, that I've now incorporated into the new miter saw station, and just a few patterns there. Might make some projects with those in the future. Over to the bandsaw. This is a 14-inch bandsaw, and it's the one that you buy from Lowe's. And again, just for the regular DIY, I think this is good enough. You could probably actually get by with a little less. And this is Terry. It's a skeleton that I aged in a video in the past. Just a fun little video. But anyhow, he needs to be blown off and sent back to the attic with the rest of the Halloween decorations. And for this corner, I'm not sure exactly how this is going to turn out, but we got the thinking stool, and then we have some tops that come from some shipping crates that I got from work. I also use this same kind of material to build the miter saw station, and here's some more pieces. Here's an old roller that I used to use, but now I got the shop set up to where I can actually cut a whole sheet of plywood on the table saw and not have to use these, so that's kind of handy. All right, and right here, this is an old ox yoke that my granddad made, and it's he made this, I believe, in the early 30s. That's something that my uncle gave me that I'm trying to figure out exactly what to do with it, but I'm not sure yet. And then here is a corn sheller. It's got, let's see, the brand is Black Hawk. AH Patch, I guess that's some kind of affiliation. And the date on it is 1908. I'm not sure what that A stands for, but I'm sure it's something. There's the name again. And it's on here somewhere, but it was made in Tennessee. I can't remember exactly where at, but anyhow, and then on to the drill press. This is a wind drill press I got from Home Depot. It does good for me. It's nothing fancy, but it does seem like it's made pretty well. And then up under it, for some reason, this is the spot that my skill saw seems to take up. Then under it, I got some scrap wood, and I'm not sure if I like this idea or not. It seems like it's starting to become a catch-all, so may put some drawers there in the future. So, and then on to this part of the workstation. Isolating spindle sander, come from Harbor Freight. It's, I don't know, maybe 8 years old. It's kind of old, but it seems to work fine, and I've kind of incorporated that into the top of this. It saves a lot of space, and even with the largest spindle sander on it, if I cut a 2x4 the same length as the workstation, it's still behind that, so it doesn't interfere with it. And also the drill press. Normally this is somewhere around the height I use. It can go up under the table, and it works fine. And then the two doors up under that kind of gives me access to the power, and I'll probably change that somehow and put a little bit different power source. And then we have there a bunch of chisels that needs a home. They're not really good chisels, but it's all I got, so we'll probably try to do something with those. All right, the two drawers up under this supposed to be small dowels, cut off dowels or whatever, and there's already a jig in there, so alright. And then this is just short cutoffs, and this is what I built the doors for. I'm not sure if we're going to keep that stuff in there. As long as we've got room, we will. Alright, and then on to these drawers. The stuff that I've got in the drawers near like your waist high, waist level or whatever, is the stuff that I use the most. And then, you know, the further you get to the bottom is the least used stuff, or bigger stuff. Like the one on the bottom here is demolition tool, sawzall, and then a framing hammer. Don't use them a lot, but come in handy when you need them. Alright, and then over here you got the miter saw. This is probably the best thing that I've done to the shop, maybe besides the planar setup. Now if you pound miter cut, you're going to have to take the front off of it. And there's only two screws, one there and one there. You're going to have to take those off to take it off to be able to tilt that saw over and get that cut. But other than that, if you just want to cut a 45, this works fine. And then my framing squares, I tend to use those a lot. So I've got a little slot cut right there in the face that they slide in. And I don't know if you can see it, but I've made a little case there. On the inside they slide in and keep them straight. And then up under the miter saw I got a old bandsaw and scroll saw that my brother-in-law gave me. I want to try to find a permanent home for those somewhere in the shop that won't take up a lot of room, because I'd like to get a quiet air compressor to go up under there. So that's the plans for that space. Don't know when that's going to happen, but hopefully sooner than later. Now on to these drawers. A lot of this stuff is miscellaneous stuff that come off the shelves that was on the other side of the shop that was kind of junky. Drill bits and marking tools, measuring tools, and then the rest of that is just random junk. It's not organized yet. But probably the best thing that I've done to the shop that I'll probably use the least is the planar setup. You pull it out when you need it, you push it back up under when you don't, and I mean it's probably the best thing I've done so far. I really enjoyed that. And then on to the last spot in the shop, or almost. This is all the accessories to our hand tools, such as base plates and stuff like that, wrenches, change blades. Second drawer, we got stuff. A messed up nail gun, an empty box to a jigsaw that come from my grandparents. Multi-tool, really handy tool. And the next one, we got a barrel grip jigsaw. Don't know how I live without that. It's got a pretty good bit of weight to it, and you really don't even have to do nothing but just kind of hold it on the board and push it just a little bit. Really good jigsaw. We got a palm router, and then these tools back here in the back. I hardly ever use them, but we got them if we do. And then the bottom drawer, we got a plunge router. Most of the time that is only used for dovetails. I got a hand planer, hardly ever use that. And then I've got a belt sander and an old skill saw. Now for the assembly table and workbench. It sits right behind the table saw, so if you cutting sheet goods, it's real handy to catch those. It's also got casters on it, so it can be moved out the way if you need more floor space. And we also got 10 drawers that are on full extension drawer slides. And this is good for bits and drill bits, router bits, and such as that. Keeps you from having to dig through a deep drawer. And then the last spot in the shop is the Cubbies over the miter saw station that I did not think was worth the time to build. And this all this is made out of scrap. So anyhow, you got paints and polyurethane spray. You got stains and such. Then you got work bags. 2 containers of router bits. And then you got some more storage. Gallon of glue. Then my cable bag. The bag that I keep all my cable tools in, crimpers and strippers such as that. And then over here you got just a miscellaneous shelf that I got my glue sitting on. Probably a do away with that. And then my Craig jig and accessories on that shelf. That's the only thing I think I didn't change in the whole workshop while I made this workstation. But anyhow, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. This is the first shop tour I've ever done, and I'm curious to see how it's going to change over the years. That's the main reason I've done this. I kind of wish I would have done one before I made the miter saw station, because this corner right here, this whole corner was just piled full of junk. Way unorganized. So anyhow, hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see y'all on the next one.